Baruch Hashem שהחיינו וקיימנו, reach a point to finish this beautiful Masechet Avodah Zarah, planning to do the Siyum in two different locations, Baruch Hashem, and it's not by coincidence that it will be the same time as we do the Siyum for the firstborn. We are on page 76, 4 lines from the bottom of the page. Here, how proper it is, we talk in Pesach, Hilchot Libun, Hilchot Hag'ala. Now, Ve'ad Kama Melabnan, the Gemara talk about the utensils. How much does one heat utensils to make them white hot? So, we learned yesterday that Bala al yedei ha'esh u'lo al yedei mashke tzarich libun, that if there is a kebol'o kach polto, the same way it's observed, it's rejected, it's taken out. So therefore, when it's come to the utensils, Amar Rabbi Mani achet tashir klipatan. Rabbi Ami said that the time it should be until they shed the outer layer, the outer layer. So the Yerushalmi said that until you see the spark, the nitzotzot, coming out of the kli. So it's basically called the same as kelim chadashim l'kol davar. It's like total new utensils. And the Mishnah Berurah Tafnun Aleph, he hold that, and you see it in the Shulchan Aruch Orach Chaim, the same Tafnun Aleph 451. Utensils that are used in fire, which is spits and grills, must be heated until the outer layer sheds. That's basically follow the view of Rabbi Mani. Or until they raise sparks. That's basically follow Yerushalmi, Jerusalem Talmud. The Remah, again, Orach Chaim 451, rules that some say it's sufficient to heat them to the point when a straw laid upon them burns. But the halacha is according to the more stringent opinion, and you see also in Rambam Hilchot Machalot Asurot chapter 17, he hold that in general libun, it's much more the hagala, so and therefore it's applied also to those utensil that need hagala. V'cheitzad mag'ilan, so how does one purge utensils with boiling water? Amar Ravuna yora ktana betoch yora gdola. So kebol'o kach polto. Remember we talk about Hilchot Pesach. Start simple. You have microwave. You want to kosher microwave daily. So whatever it's absorbed, you have things that even you clean the microwave, you still have something there. So the same kebol'o kach polto, the same way it's absorbed in a place you don't see, you need to put in such a heat way. You put, for example, a cup with water, you see the smoke coming out, and then you clean it again. So the same way it's absorbed, it's rejected. So here they said that you take yorak tanai, small cattle, utensils that were used directly for cooking must be submerged inside the larger cattle, fill with water to the point that there was smaller utensil is completely covered with the water and boiled well. That's basically the view of Ravuna. And it's betoch yorak dola, into the large water. I remember my childhood, you used to see it outside of the shul. Before Pesach, there is a big one they used to do. Now, yorak dola mai, so how you take the large kettle and kosher it. So, even you can say that you can fill the yorah, the kettle with water and heat it, but how this type of hagala is affected to those that not reach the hagala, the sfat hakli. Tashmada hu duda the havai bei rav akavya. So it was a very large cauldron, which is like big yorah, in the house of Rav Akavya, so he needs to have a perjury. Ahadar lei, he surrounded it, page 76b, Gedafna delisha apuma, umaliuha maya ve'artacha. So he put around a door. So he take this, he surrounded with a rim of dough around the rim, and fill it with water and boil it, and that the water boiled along the rim. Amarav aman hakim leme'evad ki hay milta. Rabbi said, he's so wise. The Ritva explained based on Rashi, how shrewd, how clever is that to perform such a smart action. Ilav Rav Akavya de Gavra Rabahu. If it wasn't Rav Akavya, that considering a great scholar, Kasavar, that he hold Kebol'o kach polto. He hold the same way it's observed, it's expelled. Ma bol'o benitzotzot. The same way it's observed by what? By small drops that reach the rim. Af polto benitzotzot. It's expelled, the forbidden substance, by small drops of boiling water that reach the rim. So here we talk about nitzotzot shel mayim, not nitzotzot shel ibun. It's the same the Gemara speaks about mei raglaim, the urinates, that sometimes a person needs to be careful not to spare it and to do it right. So it's not spare, more a impurity. But then when the Gemara completed the discussion in regards to Hagala and Libun, so now we're going to the last part of the Mishnah. Hasakin safa vehi teora. So when it's come to knife, you should know when it's come to knife, the general rule is that you need to put it 10 times in the ground. Rashi explained that even one polish it first, when it's come to knife, in any event one must also thrust it into the ground. He cited another opinion that the polishing of a knife is to be done with rough woolen cloth in order to remove any tangible grease, and then one must thrust it into the ground. But you see the other meforshim, you see Sefer HaTruma and others that wonder why the Mishnah will not expressly state this, and therefore they maintain that thrusting it in the ground is an additional method of rendering the knife kosher, as clarified the incident involving the King Shafur, which we're going to speak soon. But as we said, Sefer HaTruma explained that Rav Huna, son of Rav Yoshua, is explaining here how to accomplish this polishing mentioning in the Mishnah. So we said, Amar Rav Ukva bar Chama v'notza 10 parim bakarka, put it 10 times. That's one of the way the Rosh and the Ran said to kosher it. Rav Huna bar Yehoshua said bekarka she'ena Avodah. He said it has to be in a certain ground and Rav Huna bar Rav Yoshua said that it's a untilled earth, which is a hard earth. Amar Rav Kahana v'sakin yafa she'en ba gumot. A good knife that does not have notches, so that the entire surface of the knife is scraped against the ground. Tanya mehache, sakin yafa she'en bagumot noatza 10 pamim bakarka. Another limitation, Amar Rav Huna bar Rav Yoshua, le'echol bat tzonen. That applies to a purpose of eating cold food with it. So that's now a story of Tzad Sakin. Ki had the Mar Yehuda, so the Meforshim said that it's Amorah that lived at the time of Rabbi and Rav Yosef, based in Gemara in Kiddushin 58. Ki Amar Yehuda Vati Bartovi. Vati Bartovi was a former Canaanite slave. Havuyat vei kamei de Shvor Malka. So they sit before Shvor Malka. So there are several views. The simple view that apparently look the correct one is the Rashi said it's Oved Kochavim Haya, but according to the Divrei Yamim is the first Shafur, and you see it also in Gemara Bava Metzia 119, that was a king of Persia, that he was relatively familiar with a halacha. Is something weird in a book called Eshel Avraham. Eshel Avraham tried to say that it's the Tana Shmuel. Anyway, Aitu lekamayu etroga, so they brought the etrog before the king. Pasak achal havlei. Selfishly, he cut the etrog and take first for himself. And then he gave a piece, vehavle levati bartovi. He gave it to this fellow, Bati Bartovi, another piece. And then he wants to show off that he is baki balacha, that he knows what's involved. Hadar datza asara zimnei be'ar'ah. He took the knife and he placed it on the ground 10 times. Pasak havlei leMar Yehuda. And then he gave that piece to Mar Yehuda. According to the Rashba, etrog is considering davar charif. So therefore, he holds that that's help. Amar li bati bartovi v'ugavra lav bar Yisraelu. How come you treated me differently? I'm not Jewish, so why you don't put the knife in the ground for me as well? Amar li markim le v'gavei v'markim le v'gavei. There's a difference. He, Mar Yehuda, first checking the kashrut, make sure that he's properly kosher, check things, looks more observant Jew. You first put in your mouth and not always check, so therefore I gave it to you the way it is. So he gets Ika de Amre is another interpretation. Amarle, the king Shavor, said to Bati, Idkar man David Beuta. You know what? You play a chassid, you play a religious man. Let me refresh your memory, Rashi said. Rashi tells us, Derech Parsiim limsor nashim lachsaniyim. Guess what? The old Persian, they sent you a mishloach, they sent you people. So you're an honorable guest or VIP or whatever it is, they sent women for the night. So here is a different, Rashi said. Rashi tells us that when the women knock at the hotel's room, Bati said welcome, versus Mar Yehuda, throw them away, send them back. So obviously Tosfot here challenged that. Tosfot said, Piresha kuntres ששיגר להם 2 שפחות. רב יהודה לא קיבלה ובתי קיבלה. But Tosfot argued, he said, ונראה דלא חטא בזה, שעדיין היה עבד קצת. Tosfot said that because he was עבד כנעני, he did not receive שטר שחרור מאדונו. That's Gemara in Kiddushin, page 70b. So the פרק 10 יחוסין. Bati Bartuva beramot ruchei, because he was arrogant. Lo shakil gita de charuta. He felt that he knows better and he doesn't need get cherut. So therefore he assumed that since he is not, but the king Shavor thought that since Bati is not caring with the women with this law, so most probably he is not caring also in kashrut. And the truth is, as a at least at this temporary time, whatever you call it, is a Canaanite slave, in that category he does allow to have shifcha, to have maid, and is a difference between him and Mar Yehuda versus kashrut. That's the way Ritva and Khatam Sofer explain. So in a way, Bati wasn't wrong, but what he tried to tell us indirectly is the way that we perceptualize people and the way that we should be careful when it's come to Avodah Zarah and Avdea. The way that the Rambam tells us in the Sefer Kedusha, and you see it more in other places in the Mefarshim. They said the Torah tells us in the book of Vayikra, chapter 20, that I separated you from other nations in order to be different. So it means it's all interconnected. You start with intermingling, intermarrying, food, wine, many more. You go downhill, slippery slope, and eventually you can reach the point of, God forbid, idol worshipping. And we should be Mamlechet Kohanim Vegoy Kadosh. We should be the chosen people. So therefore, we should be careful the way that others see us, because it can be interpreted the wrong way. And we should be of understanding that those boundaries help to maintain us the way we are and bring us a good future. Now, the final siyum, as we said, we'll make later on between Mincha and Ma'ariv.